Henry Ford was a visionary innovator who transformed the way we move and produce. His revolutionary approach to manufacturing made cars accessible to the masses, changing the landscape of transportation forever. Ford's legacy is not just in the automobiles we drive, but in the efficiency and creativity he instilled in industries worldwide. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Profit is a byproduct of work. Happiness is its chief product. Money is like an arm or leg. Use it or lose it. There are no big problems. There are just a lot of little problems. It has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. You can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. Vision without execution is just hallucination. Failure is the opportunity to begin again, more intelligently. A business that makes nothing but money is a poor business. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Life is a series of experiences, each one of which makes us bigger, even though sometimes it is hard to realize this. For the world was built to develop character, and we must learn that the setbacks and grieves which we endure help us in our marching onward. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain. I do not believe a man can ever leave his business. He ought to think of it by day and dream of it by night. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. If money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a man will have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. A business absolutely devoted to service will have only one worry about profits. They will be embarrassingly large. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. My best friend is the one who brings out the best in me. There is joy in work. There is no happiness except in the realization that we have accomplished something. Time and money spent in helping men to do more for themselves is far better than mere giving. I cannot discover that anyone knows enough to say definitely what is and what is not possible. Education is preeminently a matter of quality, not amount. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Even a mistake may turn out to be the one thing necessary to a worthwhile achievement. You will find men who want to be carried on the shoulders of others, who think that the world owes them a living. They don't seem to see that we must all lift together and pull together. There's one rule for the industrialist, and that is make the best quality of goods possible at the lowest cost possible, paying the highest wages possible. The highest use of capital is not to make more money, but to make money do more, for the betterment of life. Wealth, like happiness, is never attained when sought after directly. It comes as a byproduct of providing a useful service. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle, as well as from your own. You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. Enthusiasm is the yeast that makes your hopes shine to the stars. Enthusiasm is the sparkle in your eyes, the swing in your gait, the grip of your hand, the irresistible surge of will and energy to execute your ideas. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. I believe God is managing affairs and that He doesn't need any advice from me. With God in charge, I believe everything will work out for the best in the end. So what is there to worry about? There is no man living that cannot do more than he thinks he can. The man who will use his skill and constructive imagination to see how much he can give for $1 instead of how little he can give for $1 is bound to succeed. The competitor to be feared is one who never bothers about you at all, but goes on making his own business better all the time. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. To do more for the world than the world does for you, that is success. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. You don't have to hold a position in order to be a leader. Chop your own wood and it will warm you twice. Money doesn't make us anyway, it just unmasks us. You say I started out with practically nothing, but that isn't correct. We all start with all there is. It's how we use it that makes things possible. The whole secret of a successful life is to find out what is one's destiny to do, and then do it. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Genius is seldom recognized for what it is, a great capacity for hard work. There is no disgrace in honest failure. There is disgrace in fearing to fail. To see a thing clearly in the mind makes it begin to take form. The way to learn to do things is to do things. The way to learn a trade is to work at it. Success teaches how to succeed. Begin with the determination to succeed, and the work is half done already. Givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. That the devil finds work for idle hands to do is probably true. But there is a profound difference between leisure and idleness. Some men may succeed because they are destined to, but most men succeed because they are determined to. The natural thing to do is to work, to recognize that prosperity and happiness can be obtained only through honest effort. Any man can learn anything he will, but no man can teach except to those who want to learn. Two classes of people lose money: those who are too weak to guard what they have, and those who win money by trick. They both lose in the end. Thinking calls for facts. Facts are found by digging, but he who has gathered this wealth is well equipped for life. Competition, whose motive is merely to compete, to drive some other fellow out, never carries very far. If the people really set their minds on anything, it is impossible to prevent their getting what they want. The most dangerous notion a young man can acquire is that there is no more room for originality. There is no large room for anything else. To be good is not enough. A man must be good for something. The sense of injustice, more than the unjust condition itself, is what wears on men's minds. The partnership of mind and matter is one which has existed since the beginning of time and cannot be dissolved. Hard knocks have a place and value, but hard thinking goes farther in less time. The best way is always the simplest. The addicts of the world are cluttered up with complicated failures. I don't know anybody so old he can't do something useful. Just give them a chance and see. The unhappiest man on earth is the one who has nothing to do. Worry is the most wasteful thing in the world. When you once get an idea in which you believe with all your heart, work it out. The best way to make money in business is not to think too much about making it. Should a man quit at 40, he is a failure. To retire at that age is a sorry failure. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new. Those who stop marketing to save money are like those who stop a clock to save time. The greatest thing in life is experience. Even mistakes have value.